What is it? You guys are busy too. It's 3 games in 11 days and 4 games in 17 days. So it's.
But after this one, all of them were 7 days apart or farther.
Yeah, this is the hardest stretch of it. There's no question that it's impactful. Your injuries and your turnaround, your time. First for us, you lose. Because you lose a travel day, of course. Because you're traveling, and then if you get back at 3, 4, 5 in the morning, you're probably losing a half a day the next day. So we all know what it is, but the biggest concern always is academically. These guys got class on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and so you hope that they can just stay up with their schoolwork. But so far, if we had lost 2 games, the last 2, I'd be complaining more. We won the 2, so it's okay, I guess.
Are you noticing any fatigue from the players?
No, we're purposely watching we put them in GPS even on the game, so we kind of know what the yardage and the strain yardage and all that is. But I'm mindful of that. I mean, we only had 1 practice in pads last week. I think this week we're going to have 2, but it won't be full pads. It'll be just shoulder pads. But I'll be our practices are shorter. I mean, they're probably 20, 25 minutes shorter now than they would be in a normal week. So I'm sure after the next couple games we'll need the time. We'll need a day or 2 off for sure. I mean, they got players had yesterday off, but they always get the day off. But coaches will probably need a day off here coming up sometime soon.
You mentioned after the game how conditioning plays a role in the second half. Does that also help in this midweek reality?
I think so. I always think it's a factor, and I think all the teams we've played are in good shape too. We take great pride, and we don't run like hundreds or 40s after practice now, and that kind of really don't do it much in August. We just we think our tempo in practice and our way we run our practices, even though they're not long, helps us get and stay in shape. That's a big part of it. And part of it too is when you're a lot of times teams, your second team or your third team guys aren't as good as shape because they're not taking as many reps. And for us, our 2s get as many reps as our 1s. I mean, it's usually most teams will maybe 4 or 5 plays with the 1s, and then 2s will get a couple plays. It's 4 or 5 with the 1s and 4 or 5 with the 2s. So our 2s, at least in practice, get as many plays as the 1s do.
Do you think the speed helped? Last 2 games having to come back in the second half. Maybe other teams you might see them maybe rush to try to make up ground quickly. Do you think the tempo y'all run at maybe helps that because y'all can't go faster?
It could be a factor. I think for our guys, it's never where, hey, we got to pick it up because we're behind or what have you. We're going to pick it up when we're ahead or behind, until the fourth quarter. So it's I've always believed that tempo plays a big part in who we are and how we go about doing things. But other teams run tempo pretty well too. Part of it is that we didn't. You still got to be able to execute, and our execution was really poor for large parts of the game on offense, and then parts of the games on defense. So we played hard. I thought we played hard, but we didn't play well, and they had something to do with that. But we got to be able to execute a whole lot better to win this game, and we know our guys are conscientious enough to know that.
I mean, when you have the time possession, like with Sam Houston, it was 17 minutes on the field. I mean, how much more in shape do you have to be in playing in your defense as opposed to other defenses in the country?
Yeah, I don't think the number of plays you would think could be skewed. I don't think our number of plays we're playing defensively is that much off. But they do. There's not a lot of time to just get on the sidelines and sit. So not only that, our defensive coaches have to learn to adjust. But again, we do that in practice too, and that's part and parcel of who we are. There's the time of possession. I think some stats are really, really important. That one is not unimportant, but it's not like a major deal. It's really what you do when you have the ball. The disappointing part for us is that we've not executed in last couple games in the first half at all, and And in the last game, there were moments all the way through we didn't execute like we need to, some stuff. And that's us as on coaches to get it fixed during this weekend or this short week of practice.
Y'all have had 6 different guys lead y'all in receiving yards. So a different
Oh, is
guy
that
in
right?
each,
I didn't know that,
a
yeah.
different guy in each game. Do you think that makes y'all tough to scout because you have so many guys that you can go to?
I don't. Yeah, I think if you had one guy that was a go-to guy, everybody would think, "Hey, this guy's that's their guy. Let's make sure we have help over the top." And we don't have that. Last game obviously Sean had a big game. And, as we get as Logan and Zion, because Zion is still it's his second year, he's still learning. As we get more comfortable with the quarterbacks in our system, the distribution should be pretty even. With all of our skill guys. And the biggest thing is just recognizing the defense and throwing to the guy that's most open. That's the thing. I mean, Barry says, well, you don't ever want to throw to the decoys. Who are their decoys? That's the ones that they're covering. And you want to throw the ones that are open, So that's, for us, there's a lot that we can do to get better to find our open guys quicker at quarterback. And that's going to be a big point of emphasis for us. It's not just finding the open guy or seeing the open guy, but seeing him in a timely fashion in the timing that we ask for in our system.
Zion started this week.
Yeah, it came right out. That actually took 5 minutes before I got a quarterback question. Hell, I don't know. I mean, what's today? What's today? Tuesday. No, yeah, it's Tuesday, but it's Friday. Maybe I'll know on Monday. But, I mean, either one of them. I got two. I said it before. We thought 2 starting quarterbacks. We do. We got 2 starting quarterbacks in Logan and Zion. And Zion played better in the last game. Logan played better in the game before that. So, I don't know. I'm not trying to be coy. We'll see who has the best week of practice.
How do you decide that during the game? Is it just a feel? Like, I feel like maybe we need
I
to
feel
get
like we need a spark. And I don't want the quarterbacks to go in there afraid to make a mistake, they get pulled. But if they make enough mistakes, they'll get pulled. It's not rocket science. That's what people like changing point guards or, changing a pitcher. Maybe the guys walked a couple guys and you just need to put another pitcher in there or something. The way we rep things, particularly quarterbacks, I mean, our guys, whoever's in there, they have confidence. And I have confidence. Whoever we put in there can get it done. So some people say, well, you can't do that to the quarterbacks because, it destroys their confidence or they're looking up. How we explain this is how we do it. It's performance-based and sometimes it's just needs a little spark or whatever. I don't overthink it. I put the other guy in, see what he can do.
So, from last week, were you targeting Sean Brown more, or is that just the way it went? Because he hadn't been targeted that much early.
No, he was open more, and we saw him better than we saw him in other games. We had opened him in the other games, too. And the thing with Sean was, the routine plays that everybody makes are supposed to make, that's one thing. But he made some catches, a couple catches that were just phenomenal. One ball was a little bit back shoulder, but he made 2. One that was this far off the ground, and another one that had to reach this. So he made some catches that were next level catches. So that was good to see.
Clay didn't start in the last game, but obviously y'all ended up going with him. What was the thought process behind maybe deciding maybe we do need Clay out there, and how do you think?
We were going to play both of them. Yeah, the plan was probably play both of them about an even amount. And Davion's gotten better and better, but Clay's played some pretty good football too. So, and it's good if we could get more than just Trey's got to be an Iron Man. He's got to play a bunch, but and Brock, but with Clay, it helps with Clay because he's a big sweater. He sweats a lot, and so he kind of leads the team in IVs. I mean, Clay will sweat coming off the bus. He's got to get an IV after we get there off the bus. And then another one after 10 minutes, and another one at halftime, and 2 more after the game, I think. So he leads the country in IVs, I think.
So does that speak more to health or just your philosophy that if I have 2 guys I trust, I'm going to play 2 guys?
That's right. Yeah, it's not even so much trust. I tell you, if you're good enough to win with, you'll play. Whether there's 2 guys or 3 guys at your position, it doesn't matter. You just got to prove you're good enough to win with, and then we'll put you in there and play. And we believe that with both Davion and with Clay.
So what did you see from Davion? Just getting a little more run this
Yeah, I think he's getting a little bit more comfortable each week. He's learning. He's still making some freshman mistakes. I mean, he's probably leaning on Trey and some other guys to kind of help him where to go, but he's got to have a great future. He's a big, strong, powerful guy. And, and Clay's still learning too. So, we up front as offensive line-wise, I mean, the guys will tell we didn't play well. And so part of it was them. They were pretty good, and they did some movement and stuff, and we got to help them with some of our calls and some of the ways that how we direct them on certain plays. But it wasn't, it was a cluster for most of the game up front in our running game. So we'll get that fixed.
What about Liberty?
Yeah, very athletic. I mean, they pulled it out last night. Their quarterback is very dynamic. He's shown that from. I mean, that's the key. And what they do, it's a hard thing to prepare for in a short. It's hard to prepare for in a regular week, rather than a short week. They do a lot of triple option stuff out of a bunch of different looks and motions, and so you got to be very disciplined defensively. Probably playing the best quarterback we've played so far this year. They're the best skill players we've seen all year. Defensively, they're athletic. So, and they're undefeated for a reason. I mean, I think a lot of people picked them or Western, I think, to win the league. So, and they've done a great job so far. And Jamie's done, he's done a great job at wherever he's been. So it'll be a big game. We hope we get having a Tuesday night, probably the first ever Tuesday night game in Jack State history. So hopefully the students will come out. I know the band will be there. They'll do a great job. They really helped us. I appreciate them. I told them that after the game. The band was great. They were a great support. So hopefully we'll get a great crowd next Tuesday.
How great is it to get Liberty at home, especially when they're losing the travel day and they played a day later than y'all? That has to feel good for maybe that going in y'all's favor one?
Yeah, I don't think too much about what their preparation is. I'm just more concerned with ours. Gus is good to be home because we have, it's the one travel day. We don't have to go, and we needed that. But and I think they've already done a site trip. They already kind of know what they want to do. Somebody said they were bringing their own showers and bathrooms and stuff. Because our visitors' locker room is kind of small, and I really had no interest in making it better. I mean, I'd make it smaller if it was up to me. If they had one shower that works, that's probably one too many. So one toilet, that's all they need. So I don't want to. We're not like going to renovate. We're doing a lot of renovations, a lot of them, really good ones. But we're not renovating anything to our visitors' locker room. The hell with that, But so I think they said, heck, okay, we're going to bring our own. Suppose that'd be a first. I hadn't seen that before. But we're in a temporary locker room too. We have been for the last year and a half, 2 years. So, but I don't know. That may be a rumor, but I heard they were because it's kind of small, which is okay.
Wanted to ask about Colby. He left the game in the second half. Looked like he took a hard hit.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, no problems there. I'm trying to see if we lost anybody in that game. Bosley was out. We're hopeful. He's not going to practice today full go, but we'll see. He'll be light and see how he goes today. And then let's see who else was got hurt in the game. P.J. Wells we thought he was going to play. He was with the doctor this morning. We're hopeful he may have a chance this week because he could help us if he's healthy.
Does that, with these games being so close together, are there some guys who in a normal week might practice that you're maybe being a little more precautionary with?
Well, it's really what the trainers and the medical staff says. It's just hard to not only is it hard to get them ready in 5 days, but even though there's no limits on us in Conference USA, there is a limit on travel squad. And so, I mean, you're not taking a guy, but he may not to be able to dress, So if you had extra numbers, you'd take him, and if he feels good game day or ready to go, you could. But now it's like you got to know the day before, are you going to think you're going to be ready to go or not? And, he took PJ. We thought he was ready to go, but he wasn't ready to go. And so there were some limits on us. But anyway, that's part of what it is.
I think both of the games last night went down to the wire, the Conference USA games.
Yeah.
How much Do you notice that? Because obviously it's a big stage to be able to play when there's not much competition, but it seems like all the Conference USA games so far have been pretty close and entertaining.
Yeah, it has been entertaining. I think, people, football in itself, particularly college football, I think it's the greatest thing there is, because there's so much emotion and excitement, and you really don't ever know. I mean, there is some teams that truly separate themselves and all that, but I think our conference is pretty competitive all the way through, and I think I told our guys and I told the staff, I said, we're probably going to be in a lot of close games. Thought that it would be a good thing. I mean, it's better than just getting blown out, but I mean, there's some good football and there's a lot of close games in our league. I think it'll be another 2 or 3 weeks. Everybody will be entertained.
Personnel-wise, are they overall better personnel than anybody you play?
Oh, at certain spots, I mean, they're one of the most. I thought Middle was very athletic. I think Liberty's the same way. They're very athletic, on both sides. I mean, so the quarterback is extremely dynamic. I think he's one of the best. I think some people know about him, but I think more people are going to know about him because he's really dynamic. He's a great player, competitive, tough, and what they do is scheme-wise is a challenge as well. So. Yeah, it'll be a very athletic team, a confident team, because they should be. They're undefeated. So, be a great challenge, and we'll line up next Tuesday. What time's the game? 6:30. 6:30.
I'm really proud of the guys. We fought through in the locker room. Nobody panicked. Everybody knew that we still had an opportunity to go out there and still win, and we weren't out of it. So I'm really just proud of the guys.
You did a somersault after?
Yeah, cartwheel. Yeah, I did the cartwheel. A lot of people ask me, like, why'd you do it? Well, since I was a freshman, guys will always do the cartwheel or cartwheel into a backflip. And nobody had been doing it this year. And I was like, man, because PJ used to be the guy. PJ Wells used to do it. Obviously, he was hurt, so he hasn't been doing it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it. And in my head, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go do it. I'm going to try it. I've never done it. And when I did the cartwheel, I felt how heavy I was. And I was like, I'm just going to stick with the cartwheel.
Well, was there any concern before you did it that you might not be able to do the cartwheel?
No, I knew I could do the cartwheel. I could do it. Yeah. Sean Brown retweeted it. He said athlete. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm for sure an athlete now. I can do a cartwheel.
Just what was that locker room like?
After the game?
Yeah.
It was kind of like Sam Houston. Everybody was extremely happy. Everybody was about in lockers, man. We were just hugging each other, saying how much we love each other. And that's the vibe of this team. We all are like brothers. Offense, defense doesn't really matter. Yeah, man. I'm just proud of the guys.
If you could go back in time and tell yourself this time last year, we're going to be 5-1 in that first FBS year.
Yeah, I would. I'd say we had the talent to do it, but you got to have a lot of things go your way, and we've had a lot of things go our way, and yeah, man, this is wild. You can definitely tell the difference that we're playing on weekdays because, the next day you got Pat McAfee and whoever else talking about you, and it's wild. It's wild to see.
What does that mean when you see on the Pat McAfee show he's dedicating 2 minutes to talk about Jack State? What's that mean for you?
Man, it's super cool. We're putting little old Jack State on the map, and man, it's just wild to see. But you gotta keep winning, keep grinding, keep showing off good football.
I mean, aside from like you mentioned Pat McAfee and everything, all 3 games you've had on TV have been close or entertaining games one way or another. Have you felt any personal impact, like people reaching out to you saying, "We saw your game on TV" or anything?
Oh yeah, I mean family, a lot of friends back home that in high school that I haven't talked to in years. They'll call you and be like, "Hey man, I saw you on TV, man. Proud of you." You definitely get more engagement. It's been cool.
I think you guys have been so good in the second half.
I think it's just how we play. I think we're trying to keep that pace on them offensively. Of course, you see the defense getting a little tired. we just keep going, like, and that's how we practice. Like, we're practicing like that. We're practicing with like a fast pace the whole time, so nothing slows down with our tempo. Yeah, and we're just resilient. Defense starts playing lights out. We start going even faster. It's hard to keep up with that.
Rich Rod and I think Zion after the game the other night said, felt like the offense especially was frustrated with some stuff in the
Yeah.
first half, felt like y'all missed some stuff. What has it been like during halftime the last two games, and then how do you think y'all sort of leave that behind you for the second half?
It's interesting because I feel like a lot of people think that it's a whole bunch of like commotion, like, hey, like a rah-rah, like let's get it going, like, and it's not that. It's a correction of guys within the locker room, like, hey, yeah, we're good, we're fine, nobody panic. Yeah, it's not a rah-rah type of thing, a rah-rah type of deal. We know that we weren't showing off Jack State football that first half, and we did the second half.
Is that, it seems like maybe this team is used to that, but is that, how tough is that to just kind of separate any frustration you have in the first half?
Yeah. Obviously it's tough. You think about it. What if we would have hit that post, or what if I would have? See, I even have a play. That screenplay that Q could have took to the crib. I feel like I could have, if I would have just kept going down the hash, like Coach Strickett tells me. He's gonna be mad about that, but if I go right down the hash like Coach Strickett tells me, I pick up that safety and he walks in the end zone. Then like I was still thinking, I'm obviously still thinking about it. You think about things like that, but you got to move on. You got to keep playing.
How quickly after a game do you start? Because obviously you're thinking about it right now, but I'm guessing you're not thinking about it during the game. So when do you go from we won to what should I have done better in that last one?
What do I say again?
When do you start to kind of look back at the game and think about, man, I wish I'd made this play?
Oh, okay, yeah. At the end of it, yeah. Like I guess not during the moment. Like I wasn't thinking about, oh man, like maybe like right after the play, but you kind of just gotta go on to the next play. But at the end of the game, you'll sit there and you'll be like, man, I could have graded out a better grade if I would have done this, that, this. Yeah. So probably after the game.
What have you seen from some of the younger guys, especially Davion, who we saw a little more this week?
Oh yeah, Davion, man, I'm proud of him, man. Obviously just a freshman, 19. I've been in the same situation with him my freshman year. I ended up playing a lot more than I thought I was gonna play, and I'm just proud of him, man. He's coming to his own, and obviously he'll start getting that grown man strength. But he's already strong, so that's gonna be scary. It's gonna be a real scary sight once he matures a little bit and learns a little more about the offense.
As one of the leaders on the offensive line in age and everything else, I mean, is it encouraging to see these young guys that have really stepped up on the offensive line?
Yeah, man, that's really cool, and that's a tribute to the coaching and hopefully the leadership. I try to show them not to like take days off, so that whether that's Davion, Cam, KD, Marvin Lee, those guys are going to be the cornerstone of this offensive line, like years to come, and I can't wait to see that.
Thinking back to your freshman year, what's the hardest adjustment to maybe make going from high school ball to college ball at the offensive line?
Probably speed of the game, and then definitely now that that we're playing as fast as we're playing, I can tell that Davion kind of looks at me like deer in the headlights, like, yo, you're good, like, and but he's making a great adjustment. He's doing really well.
Do you think, especially playing offensive line, maybe that's one of the tougher positions to get used to the speed Rich Rod wants to go at?
Oh yeah, most definitely. KD, I looked at KD a couple times in the game. He looked so tired, and I was like, man, hey, just hold on, don't let him see you tired. But yeah, the speed of the game is different, especially when we're going at Rich Rod's pace. That's Rich Rod's pace. So,
what's it like going against Chris Hardie in practice?
I don't never really get to see. Oh, you look at it. Nah, I don't really get to see Chris like that. I feel like we did a lot, like our like freshman year and stuff like that when he was playing more 3-tech, and I was playing guard. But I don't really get to see Chris all too much. But man, he gets our tackles better. We're not going to see a better defensive end in our conference than Chris Hardie, in my opinion.
Are there? I'm guessing there have been times over the years where you see him maybe get the best of some of those tackles.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's like one guy that comes to mind is Will Osteen. Like when Will was just playing guard and stuff, he didn't have a punch. He didn't have different types of stuff that he needed. And I feel like guys like Chris and J-Rock implemented that into him, and now he doesn't see anybody better than them.
Like maybe those guys, they have to get that punch because.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
What do you see in Liberty?
Oh, Liberty, man, this is a great team. They're coached very, very well. Very big up front, very physical, great linebackers. The DBs are really disciplined. Yeah, man, it's overall a great team, and they're used to winning. So,
Are there times when you stand up to go out on the field for offense and you find out, oh, Logan's going out this time or Zion's going out this time?
nah, I don't really think about that. I mean, it's all the same for me. I just make the mic decks and block. doesn't really matter who's at quarterback.
But I mean, I'm guessing you don't always know. Like,
Nah, I don't know.
You don't have to do anything different at all, no matter who's the quarterback.
Same offense.
Just make sure you get the ball back there.
Yeah. Just make sure I get the ball back there, and I had one bad snap. So
For the most part, we just want to attack and be physical. We know coming into this game that they were a good team and that they were going to play hard. And honestly, I didn't honestly worry too much about what they did. It was about us. We wanted to make this game about us and get back to playing Jack State football. I know against Sam Houston, we came out with a win, but it wasn't the best looking win. So we just this week wanted to focus on getting back to that hard-edged football.
Are you starting a running back this week?
I wish. I wish.
We saw a couple of the younger offensive line guys get to play in the last game. What's it been like going against those guys, throughout fall camp and maybe some in practice? How have you seen those guys sort of improve?
Well, for one point, they have the best offensive line coach. We have the best offensive line coach in the nation. So in that room, I know it's next man up. We're not really worried about experience because I know day in and day out he's getting those guys ready, and we make each other better in practice.
Have you noticed that, maybe there's some drills or some moments in practice where early on against some of those young guys you were like, oh man, I'm winning all these, and now maybe it's a little more competitive?
I definitely can tell the difference in between, like, towards the end of fall camp versus meeting the new freshmen. They're getting on campus, they're just not getting into the hang of practice. At first, they may have been a little rusty, but like I said, Coach Trickett is that man. He's making sure he's cleaning up everything that needs to be cleaned up in order for them to get themselves on the field and play the best that they can. So I've seen the difference in their skills versus like early in the season versus later in the season.
Do you think you and J-Rock and some of the other guys, do y'all take some pride in kind of breaking those guys in and making those guys better?
Yeah, because we treat everybody the same. Whoever you line up in front of them, your job is to demolish them. Your job is to take their manhood every play, no matter who it is. So with that makes everybody better. The culture is better together, if that makes any sense.
What did you? Treylen mentioned noticing that like Pat McAfee shouted y'all out on a show. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I
you hear
did.
that?
I watched the show.
How cool is that? Just seeing a guy like Pat with such a huge platform.
It's amazing, and for us, I feel like we're finally getting the exposure that we need, and we're doing it the right way. We're getting people's attention by the way we're winning, and that's the best way to do it.
You've had 3 games on national television. All 3 of them have been exciting, close games one way or another. Just how is that? I know y'all don't plan for that, obviously.
Yeah.
How is that been? Just getting all that exposure from exciting games.
I mean, it's good that we have like those national television games, but I mean, coming into the game, we just come in and ready to play. We're not worried about everything on the outside. We know our job is to come in, handle business, and then everything else will fall into place.
Treylen mentioned having sounds like some old teammates, old friends he hasn't talked to in a couple of years. Maybe hit him up this week or last week. Have you had any of that?
Yeah, a lot lately, especially with us. getting a lot of exposure. Yeah, a lot of people been able to support me, and I like that, and support my team. So it's just good for everybody.
What kind of messages have you gotten? Like what do they say?
Keep going, keep God first. Always, I give God the glory for everything. Like, I'm nothing without him, and that's just that. But really a lot of supportive messages.
What's the biggest change for you? Like, how do you feel like you've improved the most this year from where you were maybe a year ago?
Last year I know I had a pretty decent season, but this year I want to come in and focus on like the details of my overall game, because I know that is what's going to get me playing better on this higher level of football. And so coming into the season, I knew like, okay, this is what you have to work on. This is what you're good at already, but you still could be better. So I just want to be better in every aspect of my game.
So maybe you're not that you weren't serious before, but maybe you were a little more locked in this
Yeah.
offseason getting ready
Yes,
than
sir.
the past?
Chris, a lot of people are surprised that you're 5-1. Should we be surprised?
I mean, no, like we said, we play harder. Nobody's going to play harder than us in the country. That's just that. We're hard as football. We're hard-nosed. We're going to hit you in the mouth, line up, hit you in the mouth, and we're going to come back and do it over and over and over again. And you're going to have to like it, and that's just that.
How cool is it when you see, I know we talked after the game about how close you came to scoring, but, when the defense gets turnovers and you do see guys find the end zone on defense, just how exciting is that?
It's really exciting to make plays on defense, because we're out there just trying to give the offense an opportunity to go score. But when we can open up and score on our own, then that's just way better. And the atmosphere is just like insane. When one person make a play, I feel like I made the play. So it's just like, that's good for our overall culture.
With how fast the offense runs, how much more in shape do you feel like you have to be on defense to play on this team?
Really, it makes the games like so easy versus being in practice and going against the tempo, and then we get in the games. It's like, oh, it's nothing. Like, the offense and Coach Richard has prepared us for this, so it's nothing.
We sit and watch the game sometimes and we go, like maybe the offense goes down and scores in 4 plays or something. We go, God, the defense, those guys have got to be tired. But are you really just excited to get back out there?
Excited to get back out there and give them the ball back.